Hey y'all, it's Coach Phil here from ACSA Martial Arts, Melbourne, Australia. Welcome to another Muay Thai Pad review video. I'm the co-owner and head Muay Thai coach here at ACSA Martial Arts and have been coaching for over 15 years now. In today's review, I'm going to be talking about the Boon single buckle Thai pads. The three main things I look for in pads are 1, the comfort for the pad holder and also for the fighter. 2, the sturdiness and the shock absorption of when you're holding for the techniques. And 3 is the durability of the pad itself, e.g. how long is it going to last. So, a little bit of background about the Boon pads. They're a family-run business based in Thailand. Most of the pads are produced out of their factory in Bangkok. The range that they stock aren't fancy at all with all the bells and whistles because they focus mainly on quality and craftsmanship. They've been around for a while now, so since about 2002, and have the ambition to design and manufacture custom high-quality Muay Thai apparel. I've actually been using the Boon products for about 10 years now. I've been using the things like the gloves and then also the pads. So the pads I'm reviewing today are the Boon single strap buckle pads. The pads are produced using a high quality cowhide leather and oil treated to enhance the water resistance and durability. The first thing you notice about the pads is as soon as you pick them up, you feel how dense and durable they actually feel. They aren't too light or too heavy. So let's have a look at how much they actually weigh. Alright, so the pads weigh 1197. I've had these pads for close to 4 years, maybe even a little bit over, and they're actually still in really good shape. There's no bending or cracking of the pads or the leather. I actually took these pads out to a lot of my outdoor sessions over the world's longest lockdown here in Melbourne, and they're actually still in good condition. The stitching on the pad itself is very durable, and they've still remained intact after all these years, and not even one of them has split. The stitching on the belt buckle itself is still in perfect shape. The only issue I have is the edging on the handles that has started to wear away. Although it doesn't really affect the overall use of the pads, aesthetically it just looks a bit bad. The print and the striking surface area itself are still in great condition, considering the amount of use they've had over the years. They were a little bit hard at the start, but now that they've worn in, they're the ideal surface to hit on. They're firm but comfortable, and no slapping sensation when you kick them. Personally, I do prefer the belt buckle pads because they last longer. A lot of the Velcro style straps in the other pads wears out and loses its grip before the pad itself wears out. The buckle is sturdy and easy to put on, even when they're completely undone. Okay, that's enough of me talking. Let's take these for a bit of a road test. Alright, let's have a look at the comfort. It took a bit of time to wear these pads in before they started to feel comfortable. I remember the first time when I got them, they were a bit on the hard side for the holder and also the person kicking too. Now that they've been worn in, I don't have any issues with the comfort when holding them. I feel like the surface can be a little bit hard for beginners, especially when they're still new. I don't get any issues about the pads being too hard or stiff from any of my fighters or intermediate advanced level people. One thing that does play on my mind when I use these pads is the accuracy of the person hitting them, just because of their size. That's why I only use these pads when I'm holding for the more skilled people or for my fighters. If you're holding a lot of rounds for the pads itself, it does get a little bit uncomfortable because the area that your forearm rests on is a little hard. The pads are very small in size, which I prefer because it allows me more freedom of movement and being able to hold into position quicker. Make sure the person hitting the pads is very accurate when you're striking onto these little pads because the target area is actually really small. The actual striking surface to hit onto is ideal for fighters as they don't slap when you actually connect with the technique. The top of the pad is a little bit hard when you're firing back into the fighters or when you're firing back into their stomachs for the knees. Alright, point number 2, let's talk about the sturdiness and the shock absorption. The shock absorption on the pads is good. They're very dense in construction. I have no issues when holding for punches, knees and elbows. Although I do feel a little bit of jarring when I'm catching for heavy kickers, especially in the higher weight ranges. I would actually prefer holding for people under the 70 kg weight division when using these pads. Lastly, point number 3, the durability. I've had these pads for about 4 years now and they're still going strong. When I first got them, I was using them non-stop every single day, but now I like to rotate between my pads. They've actually weathered months of outdoor training and still in great condition. The good thing about them is that they've retained their shape and firmness over the years. If you're after a long-lasting and durable pad, then the Boon pads are definitely the way to go. So, who's the pad actually for? I wouldn't recommend this pad for the complete beginner because the surface is a little hard to begin with, and especially if they're not used to the small target areas. I would definitely recommend this pad for the more experienced coach, with the majority of your fighters being under that 70 kg weight division. Also, just make sure that the person hitting is very accurate. So here's my overall ratings. Comfort level, I gave it 7 out of 10. They're a great pad, but they're not super comfortable after a lot of rounds, and you need to make sure that the person hitting them is very accurate with it. Ability to absorb impact, I gave it 8 out of 10. They can take a beating, but not so much from the heavy hitters. And lastly, durability, I gave it 10 out of 10. These are probably the most durable pads I've ever used. I gave it an overall score of 8 out of 10. So if you're after something very long lasting, durable, and work with decent level fighters, then check out these Boon single strap buckles today. If you want to see more videos like this, follow me on Instagram at Phillip Muay Thai, and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks guys. Done.